It's fun.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Soul Strike. My name is Come To Us Evan, and with me today, it's Epic Butter. What's going on, Butter? How are you?
Oh my God, I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me, and thank you, Come To Us. I also want to say thank you to all the crew that's like behind the scenes working the cameras. It's a lot of work to bring a production. It's not just Evan and I talking into webcams and hanging out. It's a full deal.
It's so true, because that was so funny. And Butter was talking to me about that before the stream. It's like he didn't realize that it wasn't just me with a laptop. You know, it's like there's a lot of folks who work on this and make it happen. Let's say hi to folks in chat real quick. I see Miroslav over there. I see Starcher Films, Motive, welcome back, Animus, and also Kingfish Kilograms. Welcome, the man who set an alarm so that he wouldn't miss Butter. That's awesome.
Welcome. Thanks, Kingfish. I appreciate it.
So many people are excited to see you here today, Butter.
Oh, you know, I've been talking it up. I've been asking people like, hey, you know, I'm getting ready for this. What do you think? And yeah, so I'm just happy to be here.
I'm really happy to have you. So, you know, we've already kind of had like a name introduction, but I feel like we should talk about maybe your presence in Soul Strike, because that might, you know, just in case people aren't aware, it's like Butter is like the best of his server. Do you want to tell us what it's like with the view from the top, man.
So, server rank is one thing. There's also bracket ranking, and there's a rank for basically anything where we can compete with each other on. And so I'm part of the Malicious Guild. Love to say hi. It's a great team, and we work hard. And all the guilds work hard. So where I'm at, I'm just one of the leaders of the Malicious Guild. We do our best to get serve our guild, serve our players, and we do our best to try to just better each other.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's, what's so funny is Malicious, you probably know Malicious, the guild, has a presence in Summoners War Sky Arena too. Pretty strong presence, and that's kind of their mission statement as well. So it's fun seeing them do their thing across multiple Come To Us titles. That's really sick. Look at this, Start Your Films.
So I want to say one thing. Sure. We're not actually affiliated with them. The
Oh, wow.
leader that started Malicious wanted to do Say Swag, but couldn't for whatever. So he just took the name Malicious. So yeah, it's kind of the same mission statement, but we're not actually affiliated as far as I know.
That's so funny. I love that they swiped the name. So we asked about what it's like at the top and with the guild. What was the thing that originally drew you to the game?
So I'm a toddler dad. That means I don't have a lot of time to sit at my computer and game. I got a game where I can, and I was kind of going through a lot of mobile phone games, and then finally I ran into Soul Strike, and it's a great puzzle game. So I played Arcana Tactics, which was made by the same studio as Soul Strike. So a lot of the bones of there's a puzzle here, there's something to figure out, and the deepness that is in here. I'm still learning something new almost every other day. There's not a point in time where I'm I know everything.
Oh, that's awesome. It's really cool. And I love the way that you describe it as a puzzle, because it's very clear to me that that's kind of how you tackle it, And so just for reference to chat, Butter is at, what was the number? 5,961. Is that where you're at in the Conqueror levels?
Yeah, I really tried to make it to I really wanted to make it to 5,999 and then see if we could beat it together, but I couldn't do it. I think maybe there was an 8-hour maintenance that delayed me or something. I'm sorry, but next time we climb, I'll try to save the last level for all of us.
There's something incredible about the nature of the only thing that can get in your way at this point is scheduled maintenance. That's awesome. And
no, that's a complete joke. I do think there's some things that I will need to work on. There is some power levels I need. There is some elements that have shown that are much weaker that need help. So hopefully, the devs are already aware of that, and they're going to tell us hey, the next skill. And I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just going to put it out there. But I need an earth skill.
An earth skill? Roger that.
I need an earth skill. Or I need Seth's hand to be buffed. A lot.
Noted on that. We're taking notes. We're taking notes in the background. Salvius Telemachy, what's going on? Kingfish says yes, please. He echoes the sentiment too. And also, before we get too deep into the stream, guys, I just want to remind everybody too that if you don't already follow Epic Butter, there's a link to his YouTube channel in the description if you're watching us on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, you can use Command Epic Butter, Command Butter, whatever. Those are all aliases that'll work to get you the link to his channel. And so something that we wanted to talk about too is that you are flying through these monsters. You're flying through right now. Can you tell us a little bit about your build? Because it's really cool. It's very unique.
Yeah, so there is a reason why I'm able to climb so high so quickly, even while not fully unlocking everything. And it's actually something I developed over a long period of time. I have kind of coined it zero defense. And this is where Evan is going to love this, because when allies or when there's a lot of text on a page, it usually means that item is better. So with Vanessa, with Annabelle, with Felino, they all have something in common. They all have something where they lower defense by a certain amount. So with the three of them together, they can lower defense by 65%. And then you add on Radiant Justice, and that's another 20% down. That brings you to 85%. And then you say use Fan of Knives with the enchant, minus 15. Now you have something that is minus 100% defense. So you can now essentially ignore defense. Now we can take it one step further, where instead of that, there's also auras, and there's an aura called Shrewd where it lowers the defense. So if you're like me and you just start, you know, getting a bunch of Shrewd gems, I can essentially make sure that I won't ever have to worry about how much defense the mobs have or enemy bosses. So when I see a field boss that has that like defense elevated sign, I know it's for me. I know
Yeah.
it's my time to shine.
Because that means effectively zero. Like that is
For
such
me.
for you. That is such a creative build, man. And it's like you were saying, it really resonates with me as an MTG player. Like more text usually equals more better, you know. So that's exactly what you've set yourself up with. That is so cool. And we were talking about before we went live today. I was asking more about it because I actually find the build really interesting and fun to watch. It's like, what becomes the problem points for something like that? Like, where's the limitation for it? Like, is there a space that it has difficulty in? What stats do you need to worry about later? Do you want to tell us more about that, Butter?
Yeah, so I want to be clear, it doesn't work for every piece of content. Like, this will not elevate your guild raid boss score. It does help in GVG, but not enough where I would say use this instead of using, your normal set of skills. Now, the biggest thing that I find that's kind of annoying is I climb so high that farming builds no longer make sense to me because I am like 500 stages above where I can farm versus where I can fight. So there are some like major drawbacks in terms of like climbing so high so quickly. However, one of the major benefits is those silver coins that I pop. Oh, they really allow me to like pull on these power level like levers and just really go to town.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is awesome, man. And I never considered that to be like a problem point down the line. It's like you climb too high. Now we gotta go back a little bit to farm. It's so interesting, man. Like
You climb too high, and then like what also happens is that if you have tyrants on and you don't have holy gem or a way to elevate your defense, you die in one hit. So it becomes like who hit you first.
right. So that leads me to the question of like I would love to see what like some of your content builds are, because like you said, it doesn't elevate your score in certain areas of the game. I'd love to see what you use there. Oh, and also real quick, very quick question for Prime Zero said, will there be collaboration content reruns? That's a good question. Unfortunately, I can't give you a guarantee yes or no on that. Although as a player and like historically, I would skew on the side of probably not. They're there as a moment to try to like encourage people to play and engage with that collab content. But one thing that I think Soulstrike is good about is like not putting those unique effects on the collab content rather the allies and everything that you can get from it. So that way it's like you might miss out on some unique opportunities for synergy, like how you're kind of using Annabelle right now, but you won't miss out on potential damage necessarily if you don't use it.
So if I can comment on that, I would really hope they reconsider because so much of what has been given to us from Summoner's War and from Zenobia is pretty much required for this stage of the game. And unless we have alternatives coming, there are no ways we can progress.
What I would be interested in seeing
at my
is
like upper level.
what I think would be a nice balance would be if they came out like what you said in alternatives. So what Summoners War Sky Arena does, which I think is kind of an elegant solution, is they come out with original monsters or like the original functional equivalents of these characters. So that way they're within the usual canon of the game, but they also are kind of satisfying that need for like the collab units. So that's something that could be explored later down the line. Unfortunately, I don't have knowledge of whether or not they're actually planning on doing something like that, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Something like a devil in a SS. So I don't know if you're able to run a piece of content for us, but I would love to see some of that other build that you were talking about.
Yeah, so okay, so for me, what I've been doing for stage recently is I have my different pets set up for different kind of bosses. So they're not really set up for anything right now, but I'll just run something. So here I have my infinite pots build.
Oh,
It's
sick.
a half. It's a half Void Invader and a half Erebos. That's Erebos. This is Void Invader build, and it should do this. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to run it because it actually crashes my iPad sometimes.
No way.
Yeah, I actually realized like, wait, no, not a good idea. But like, I don't mind running like pets. I am curious to see like how much more in my seed thief I can get, and kind of just talk through it. Let me just make sure it's preset 3.
That is
Uh,
that is actually hilarious. That's what Schismotive said. That is hilarious. It is like you're so far along on Infinite Pot that like it crashes the iPad.
I mean, it crashes so many of my like. I've tried so many ways to just make sure it's not going nuts.
And look at how much more there is on screen now with the advent of pets as well as an additional ally. Like
Yeah,
there's so much
it's a
going on.
whole caravan.
Yeah, there is so much going on now. Wow, this looks way different for you than it does for me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so one of the CCs here that I have is not only Ma but also Phoenix. It's is actually causing airborne.
Oh, okay, got it. So that's how you're getting him to kind of slow down there.
Yeah, and actually, one of the things that is also happening is that's Felino. Never mind. If I have Vesper, one of my gear items has something called Overwhelm, and I think this is where I really want to talk about my gear, where how I think about a build and why I'm like using physical, because a lot of people ask me like, what is the best like build? What is the thing that does the most damage? And the answer is like it depends. There's like 16 different ultimate gears. So for me, it's like I'm using half thesis, where I do a lot more physical damage, and overwhelm does they take more damage if they're under airborne, fear, freeze, or stun.
Hmm.
And this is Phoenix Blood, so if they're getting burned, they take more damage. And then over here, if they're under the bleed debuff, they take in more damage. So it's kind of like, what do you have in your synergy that will propel you forward? Because that has been the number one biggest way for me to like progress content. Now, I've gotten to the point where I need to kind of play like the avatar, like the airbender, where I have
Nice.
to I have to like, I need to use fire here, I need to use water here. But there was a very long time where I can just go through with just my main build. So you can progress very far with like a single monotype build without having to feel like you have to become the last airbender.
Oh, that's a very good comparison, actually. We got Mimeograph saying, tell us more about those triple S's. They want to see your gear again. They want to see more gear. Dude.
I mean, this is like my favorite gear right now is like the half thesis set. What I would like to do is either go half Flame King, since I like burn. I like the burn debuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I can, I'd like to maybe go look at how Zephyrus is, since it gives you a bonus to your allies. Since allies have been pushed so much, now that you've gotten 4 allies instead of 3, effectively this has gotten a lot stronger. And then with Grit, that's incredible.
I had a question about that, actually. I think that's a good segue into Handsome Panda's comment, where they said allies is the best in my delusions. How do you feel about the state of allies right now? Because I know we've seen quite a few changes to them recently. We're getting a 4th one on board now. We've had the advent of pets. Like, what do you think about ally builds currently?
So the game has kind of initially rewarded a lot of players to use Tyrant, and I think we're kind of in a weird space where Tyrant's build sometimes does more damage in the guild raid boss than it does in other content. So where utility matters, allies matter. Now where you just need pure damage, used to be Tyrant was the best. Now with more allies, it kind of it depends on like how much you've dumped into your ally attribute tree. It kind of depends on if you have anything that like enhances them. Is it a group enhancement? Is it a U enhancement? So for me right now, I'm using them because they are adding utility. Like if you saw my accessory that said overwhelm, they take more damage with fear. That's why sometimes I'll be using Vesper, because he basically is like guaranteed fear. And if he's hitting the stage boss with fear, the stage boss can't fight back. They're not hitting me. They're not using their skills. And they have some wild skills later. Like there is some I haven't seen before. And I'm like, whoa, I don't like that.
So you need him to kind of move away from you. So Handsome Panda says, ally damage build? Well, you're talking about it from a perspective of utility. I like what you said. Where utility matters, allies matter. I think that's a really good statement.
Yeah, so there is some people who have tried an ally damage build, and I think I know who this Panda guy is. But they use Last Bastion, and then they let the allies go wild. And I think where we need better understanding of where ally damage matters and how it applies is we don't really quite understand how, where is it? This ability where it says ally damage, how much that impacts their stat. Or is it more important to do I think it's called resonance? There's a lot of ways, and Killer said it best, where ally damage seems to be similar to skill damage on a offensive item. There is a diminishing amount after 2 or 3 lines.
A diminishing amount after 2 or 3 lines. Interesting. That's fascinating.
Yeah, because there's a way where because allies are a subset of you, so it's you're giving something up to elevate their damage. Now, at what point does that y equals mx plus b cross whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's where does that kind of start to plateau a little bit? It's a good statement. It's a good question too. It goes against my instincts to make a mono build team from Sim Art. I played too much Pokemon. I need balance. They need balance in it. Where do you stand on that? Do you stand on kind of leaning into whatever element you're strongest in? I guess in the beginning, right? You're at a state where probably you've found your niche and you can kind of drift into all of them pretty well. What do you recommend for people that are semi-newer to the game?
So I kind of have a 2-part thing to this. This is kind of the way the game is kind of guiding us, actually. They're kind of guiding us to have almost a build for every color. And what they've done in the last patch is they've made physical strong against physical.
Yeah.
So now we are truly the airbenders, or the avatar.
Yeah, we're the avatar.
If you're asking me, I need 5 presets so that I can change between 5, this is my fire build, this is my whatever build. Well, before, a lot of our builds were oh, we have to use Phoenix because it's the best. We have to use Unbound. And we were kind of using one of each element. And that was really good for Shrine. But now, the benefits of doing that, it does not outweigh the critical damage buff that you get from pets. And the only way to get it right now is through these pets and through having them equipped.
And which pets are you gravitating towards right now? What do you find to be the best ones?
So what I found is any pet that says it says right here, takes casting any pet that says receiving more damage is what you want in your top. You want one of those and one of those in your and one that will do a critical damage. And then on the sub line, I've been enjoying physical crit damage. I've been enjoying physical resistant penetration and critical damage.
Estella Maki says the fact that Earth is weak to fire doesn't make sense in my Pokemon brain. No, mine either, actually. I see what you're talking about. I also don't see that. But hey, dude, the elemental chart doesn't lie. Butter is the best guidebook from Handsome Panda. Couldn't agree more. That's
okay. I know who this is.
Prime Zeroth says, how much do you get if you consume offline silver and silver and XP? It scales with where you're at in the game.
Yeah, so I think I'm in the L's now.
Wow.
The L amount, yeah. And then
you're taking
for
L's.
XP, I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking L's.
He's taking L's. Julian Akika is asking you, how do we get 2 active pets?
Oh, so this is actually something that we didn't get to show in the other streams. So I'll go ahead and show you here. It's actually in the 4th tree. And you basically go all the way down, and that's where you get your 2nd pet. So this is available after you build Steel 10, I believe. And there are 2 key pieces here that I really want to point out is Glorious Nest. For every percent above elemental penetration exceeds over 100%, that goes into damage.
Oh, that's so sick.
So yeah, so this made Corporeal Helm a lot stronger. This made all of those like elemental penetration lines on any of those gears that you were like, oh no, it's not all element boost. Well, guess what? It is something that directly goes in damage now instead of a flat number of your element boost. So sometimes you actually want more down here than more up here.
Oh my goodness. So Animus is saying, I haven't enabled that tree yet. I imagine not. It's still pretty fresh from the pet update, all things considered, and you got to have an upgraded steel, like you said. Like, it's a little ways away for a lot of people, myself included, to be honest.
Yeah, it's towards the later part of the game, and essentially it really it is a massive power upgrade. But like, are you missing out? I would say probably not, because what you can do is just apply one of these pets that like will say receives more damage, and then you really want that elemental crit damage, and you just put that in your subset. So this is like the sub line, and you'll still have 3, so you can get your elemental crit damage in the sub slot.
Yeah. So you're not missing out on quite as much as it might seem. Of course, it's something that's to be desired, but eventually, I think that's a really good takeaway from that. So real quick, before we continue, I think we could probably get a wheel spin in right now if we're so inclined. Does that sound good to chat? Are you guys down for a wheel spin? I'm low-key down for a wheel spin. So Butter, tell me how much power you want me to spin this with.
79% minus 1.
79, so 78?
No, 70. Oh, sorry. 70% minus 1.
Oh, 70% minus 1? Roger that. That's a great choice. Ready?
That's your favorite number.
Yeah, and it's gotten us some good results in the past. Oh, 10,000 ether. 10,000 ether is the takeaway from the first spin. Perfect. And we can also redeem those codes as they come on screen. 10,000 ether. Ether gift 447. That's the code. I'm going to go redeem it right now. And to redeem that, chat, by the way, you go into Notice, then Event, and then you scroll all the way down to the enter your promo code here. Ether gift. I'm going to get that right now. And so earlier, when we've like prior to the stream, you were talking about how like summoning for you've kind of like summoned pretty much everything. Is there anything in the game that you're trying to get towards like a higher awakening level still? You mentioned that you don't have everything yet. Yeah,
so for me right now, I still don't really know about allies, and I don't really know about, well, like I kind of know which pets I need because of which elements need help. So like this shark fin guy, I really need him to get up there.
Same.
But like what I've done is like where I can buy skills from the black market, I have. So I filled up a lot of my OG skills, and then I've really just focused on summoning skills that aren't in the black market.
Okay. Roger that. And so what does are we down to see what the max conqueror level looks like? Could you show us that? Is that that interesting to see? what you're at?
Oh boy. So I do believe that one is Earth, and you'll see exactly where I'm running into issues.
I can't wait to see it, because this is so interesting to me, because you are like, you are 5,000 levels. Like, I'm rounding up a little bit, but 5,000 levels, above. It's like, That's a pretty significant bump. So what's with so what are you thinking when you're swapping these out?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is right now I need about basically almost all of my earth skills, and one of the things that is let's call it a butter tip is I like to have skills in the order of buffs, debuffs, and then slow attack and then fast attack. And the reason why that is to kind of maximize your damage window, and that way all your buffs are up and all the debuffs are up when you need to do the skill. So Divine Sword actually benefits from Earthquake because Earthquake causes slow.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's why that's there. And then right now I'm like looking at my allies and I'm like, okay, Vanessa buffs, Rand buffs, Chocolate does a ton of damage, and Annabelle, not super relevant here right now. She does silence, which is great, but I was thinking I'll use Artemel to kind of just keep the boss off my back. And then
I love this comment of actually insane, Butter. It feels like we're playing different games.
So yeah, actually this might take a while.
So this is 5,000. This is 5,961. That's where we're at currently.
That is correct. Sorry, I'm just going to do something real quick to speed this up because I can do. I basically move my pets to number 2 and I use Unbound to clear the gauge really quickly, and then I'll go back and set it back. So this is why I need 5 presets.
Dude, the screen is insane right now. This is crazy.
It gets more wild when when it's like all infinite pots with tiles and
oh my god, so that's why it makes your iPad crash.
Yep.
Dude, okay, this is crazy.
We rolled it. And then we're gonna lose Evan, guys.
I'm gone. Dude, I'm gone with the iPad. You're making me crash.
So what you didn't, I don't know if you can see, but
dude, I can't see anything.
One of my pets had the statue out, and that's like the signify of like, hey, it's your window to go do damage. And right now I just don't have enough. So I actually need, that's what I was saying, I need my shark buddy to step up a little.
Wow. Oh man, so yeah, I definitely see how this would be difficult to progress from here. This is crazy. Oh, even bigger Matha. Welcome, dude. This is Soul Strike. Welcome to the stream. This is a really good one to watch, by the way. Epic Butter is with us. Epic Butter is crazy insane at this game. Like the #1 player in his server. Like this is
server, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. This is very high up in the Conqueror levels, and it definitely looks like we're playing different games when you look at that. Like truly. Also, I loved the butter tips that you were giving before. Like I don't know if you've got more butter tips, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, so I actually have my notes up here. We talked about damage windows. We talked about leaning into your gear. We talked about buffs, debuffs, short spells, long spells. One of the biggest ways to also not like kind of edge or get more damage out, and I find a lot of people are like, don't do. It's a lot easier to do it now that you can hide what's completed, but you should be playing with all of your allies, all of your pets, and as you cycle through them, you get a lot of benefits. And then one of the things that people tell us to do is upgrade all your guys, because if I upgrade Pyro Fluff, like 40 more percent, I'll get 3 more attack. Now,
oh, I see.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you look at my power, it's 1.4 I. Like 1% is still like a few H. It basically, it all adds up to the values that you are looking for, especially in like attack and all these other things. So if you're like hurting and you're like, oh, I need more health, that could be a source that you're not tapping into.
That's a really good point. That's a very good. Should I farm AFK online or offline? That's from Bastaculot.
Online is always better. Usually, I think offline is like capped at like 200.
It is thereabouts.
KP, yeah. So something about So online's always better. Also, what you get offline are these offline bags, and they can kind of randomize everything, but you do not get like Spirit Isle stuff. So, like, you really want to be up here gathering these things because like this one Soul Shard allows you to re-roll a single line. This allows you to like grab, get more stones, and you basically need this for upgrading all your ultimate gear.
Nice, great tips. And guys, actually, you know what? So let's pause in between butter tips and let's do one more wheel spin right now, because I just realized that more time has passed than I think it has, and we got to get these wheel spins in. I want to get people the codes, so let's do one more right now. This time I'll let chat pick the intensity of the spin. Chat, give me a number. Give me a number. We did 70 minus 1 before. Thoughts, chat? One with 1 being like nothing and 100% being I'm gonna break this wheel. That's basically what we're going for today. 25% from Astilamaki. 20%. Let's split the difference and say like 22. It felt very soft. That was perfect. Oh, dude, it's the same code. Let's go one more time. We're gonna do 22% from here. Ready, set, go. It might be too soft. Wait, or is it the magic number? 50 skill tickets,
Ooh,
baby.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. 50 skill tickets for chat and for us. For us too. Oh, cringe person.
So 22 is actually my favorite number.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So whenever I see 22, it's kind of like a sign for me, like, I'm right where I need to be.
Oh, that's great. What's so special about the number? It's just served you well in the past?
It served me well when I'm looking for a sign and I see 22. It means good things.
Oh, interesting. And it got us 50 skill tickets. So that's pretty. It's skill live 30. That's the code for that one. So anything else that you can think that might be helpful for people like getting into Soul Strike or something like that? Maybe a tip that you wish you knew earlier?
A tip I wish I knew earlier. I think if we're talking about butter tips, there is a page called Alchemy that is like the rate page. And I find that the more I'm on it, the more I understand and can make decisions based off of like what the percentage chances are. So when you're like, oh, do I pull on this skill and use my ether? You maybe want to look at the page to see, does it actually get sold in the black market? Or like if you're trying to understand if I roll this gear, what are the possible outcomes and how likely is that? How likely is it for me to get something I want? And then based off of those information, you are less blind to the possibilities.
That's a great one. Would we see Epic Butter? Rivensu, would we see Epic Butter using allies build in the future? What's up, Rivensu? Welcome to the stream, dude.
Does that not qualify as an ally build?
I feel like
I'm not using Tyrant.
I feel like it qualifies. That's the thing. To me, it qualifies. You know, it's like like I'm seeing tons of allies on the screen. That to me is an ally build.
I think another thing new players may not know is your character gets hungry. They need to eat. And
I'm bad
when
about
you
this
feed them right, they get so much stronger. So
That's
like a third of my power comes from the dragon food. And that dragon food has all element penetration.
I feel like I got called out with that butter tip. Yeah, I'm very bad about that.
No, I did not direct
I'm just saying I really relate to that one. No, don't worry. I totally know. I just mean that really resonates with me because I'm bad about consuming the food. That's a really good tip for people too.
Yeah, when you're like, I need to push stage, I need an extra boost. Like basically anytime you're doing any sort of content where you'll benefit from more, use food. And even like some of the events where you run around and like you grab all of the roses.
Yeah.
When you eat food, like you can eat fish and you'll have more move speed.
Oh, that's sick. That's a really good point.
And that'll go into the event and you can grab more. So there's a reason to be eating food all the time.
That's a really, really good point. Do you want to try to summon for some of the stuff that you're missing? Do you have enough to? I think you have tons of stuff to summon, right?
I have some things, yeah. I got some things.
Let's do it, dude. I would love to watch. Let's see what you pull. Kingfish says, I'm always on food. Good, Kingfish. That's great.
I want my... Oh, I'm not going to get my shark.
No!
There's a dream.
Sandy.
There's a dream. All right, that's okay.
We need Sandy.
There's a dream.
We need Sandy.
You know, one thing we could do that I've been holding off on is do a Ultimate Mystic Champion upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
I have a few of these. It looks like I need like 2 more in Killer, or I need 2 more in Swordmaster, and then that'll give me an extra ability line. And these are the ability lines. So these are additional to the ability lines you have, and you roll them with that experience resource.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, let's do it. Heck yes. Awesome.
So what you do is you get 5 of these, and then you hit that awaken button, and that requires a book. That book basically is built by 10 of each legendary resource from each region. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it takes a while to farm them all, but you can also, and I hate to say it, but you can also break resources to get that next level resource if you need it. Now, I would not break ore or iron or wood. Don't do that. But like if you have like food resources you don't need, yeah, maybe that's okay.
Kingfish leapt into action with a restructure.
Oh yeah, restructure.
Oh,
sorry.
So no, dude, that's so funny.
Okay.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Generic.
Okay.
Killer. Okay.
Nice. Value. We love it.
Oh. Okay.
We got one more.
One more. No. Oh wait. No. That's it. I'm sorry, but that's what it looks like. But every time you get one of these, especially in the beginning of the game, your first 1 through 10 are actually somewhat supported by Come To Us, where like I think after every other interval, you get a box where you can choose one of these SSS classes, and it stops at like your 10th one. But what that helps you do is it helps you actually say, you saw how that was kind of random. What that helps you do is that if you're missing one, you will definitely get it.
Yeah, that's very cool. I see what you
So
mean.
you don't have to worry that like, oh, I rolled Killer 4 times in a row. Like, no, you'll get boxes, and you can pick now.
We were so close, but that's okay. It'll be the next time you'll get it.
Next time.
Next time you'll get it. That's great. Insane gamer, says Handsome Panda. Oh, it's so true though. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. How many more butter tips do you have prepared?
You know, I think that's kind of what I had prepared. The other tip I do have, and I think this is important. A lot of people ask me like, hey, what are good enchants on my gems? And what I like to tell people is the relics that you're using and the skills that you're using are the best for the enchantments. Now, there are some auras that are good. I like Shrewd, but there are some that are like gives more to attack. I think the Enhanced Brawn and there's another one, but essentially those actually do not scale as much as Shrewd does. Shrewd impacts the mobs that you're fighting against, while the attack one and the final damage one acts as like a buff, and the way it multiplies is not actually as beneficial as like adding more. And when you add to your ultimate gems or ultimate gear, one of these things that is good to notice, and I like using Orb of Wishes as an example, it has no mention that it actually increases the rate of your orb. It only mentions allies. So there are hidden buffs within these enchants. So
Really?
definitely, yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh,
so
that's
like
fascinating.
Sheath gets stronger, Scale gets stronger, Light Boots get stronger. There's a ton of hidden ones, and you kind of have to like see which ones have it. You know, you could always put on a piece of gear and just see how your stats on your skill changes. But yeah, that's why I say you should use the enchants that have that of the skills you're using.
What's going on, Panzers? Welcome to the stream. Panzers, if you're looking for the code for the ether that was given for the 10,000, it's ethergift447. And the other thing, selfishly, I wanted to ask if you have any tips for my progression for where I'm at right now. Anything that you've seen that you think that I should do a little bit differently, or anything you'd recommend?
I think I would recommend getting your guild to level 7.
Okay.
Mainly because that opens up these parts here, and based off of the rate page, you need to be trying to get a good back and a good accessory, because those are the hardest items to get in the game, based off of the rates and based off of like how like difficult they are to make good ones. They take like I think the backs are 8% and the accessories are 12%. So I would say guaranteed you can get, you know, a back and an accessory. Go for these. And then for new players or players that are looking for advice, I always buy the Abyss Key and the Drift Key, because every day I'm trying to hit the field boss twice to get those Void Crystals. Those Void Crystals are so important for your jewels and your ultimate gear.
Very good tips. Very good tips. Stella Maki, you're so funny. I just read your comment. You should play more. Word, honestly. That's probably the key for any of them. So what are you running right now? I didn't see where you went to. Oh, you're doing the guild dungeon. You're doing guild dungeon.
Yeah. They expanded it, and I think they actually replaced. No, that's Crowley there. So I don't know. But yeah, you can kind of see the bosses there. That's kind of neat, and you can kind of tell the elements. See, we need this icon when we fight stage boss, because right now
that's a good suggestion.
Stage boss, and I have to figure out what element they are, and then I have to make that build, and then it takes twice as long.
You got to go do recon first. Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes a ton of sense, actually. Another question I wanted to ask you too, and this one's a little bit more open, but I'm really looking forward to the answer, is like, what game system would you want to see expanded? Like, what do you want to see the game explore more?
So I guess this is a good segue. So like when I had my opportunity to like, hey, is there a message to send to the devs? I kind of went wild. I contacted almost every other guild that I'm like in regular contact with, and I was like, hey, I'm making a document. Give me feedback. Little did I know that would turn into 16 pages of feedback. So some of the things that were mentioned were like element towers. Some of the things were more presets, and like in terms of game function, like we would love to see guild versus guild expanded, where smaller guilds would be able to compete more, where like players aren't just trying to jump ship into a big guild every time that they can. Like we want to have more of the player population to be able to play guild versus guild. So it's about making it more accessible is really what I would love the devs to do.
That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah, because if you look at it right now, it's like the population of people that are fighting every week in guild versus guild is like 600 people, but in the Discord there's almost 10,000 people. That is like not a very like good ratio. Like
it's a big disparity.
I want to see that number like triple or quadruple even, right? And just the number of guilds that would be able to get in and play on, even on different leagues, like that'd be fantastic, so that they're not feeling like there's no point in playing because they have something to fight for.
I liked what you suggested with the different leagues, because that was actually going to be my follow-up question, is like what pathway would you like to see that happen? Like, what do you have a suggestion for how they could make it more open to those smaller guilds? But I think you answered that very eloquently. Like, I think that's actually a really good suggestion.
So I would also love to see the new zone expanded into not just like, right now we have the physical zone. I'd love to see, the fire, earth, wind, water zones. with castles, with their own, I don't know, let's make Oscar's brother and Charles's sister, right? Like it can be a whole thing where like at a certain point, at stage 3000, you're ready to graduate. You're ready to like play with like the big boys where they're all in this zone.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like let's let people have like the early zones that we enjoyed when we were that level. But now that we're higher and they're still catching up, let's leave. Let's give them that space.
Question from Mcon Kitsune. As a new player, is it better to farm lower stages with item drop rate gears or higher stages with better gear? I guess it depends how new, too.
It depends on what you're losing out on. Like, because the key is like your item drop rate and your silver gain, right? So for me, like I already have over 300 just on my regular build. It's fine. At least I'll get all my items, but I'm definitely losing out on silver in XP. Now, if you're talking about like 10 levels and you can do more, it's probably better. If you're talking about 100, it's probably not.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Sometimes it feels punishing to toll A. And then in a second, I think it would be really fun to have you watch me do some summons, by the way. And you can kind of give me feedback on what I'm summoning and how I can put it to use. I think that'd be really cool.
I think we're missing out on another wheel though.
I think so too. That's so funny. You beat me to it. That's exactly what I was gonna say next. So Butter, now it's your turn again. Tell me how much you want me to spin this thing.
Let's go 100.
Oh
we
my
haven't
God.
done a 100.
Oh, we already did this one. Ready? Here comes 100 again. Ready?
I love the effort.
Woo! Oh, we already did this one too. We're going one more time. Ready? Here we go.
Third time's the charm.
Oh, all right. Son of my mother, dude. How about one more?
See, that should have been where cat
What
ears
the?
was.
Dude, I'm starting to think this thing is weighted. This is definitely where they're putting the ears, by the way. You guys are definitely like sniping this spot for when the ears are on this. Are on this. Like that explains a lot. Ally tickets.
Allies.
Ally tickets. Let's go. That was ears slot. That's exactly what Estella Monkey said. That's so funny. Ally tickets. Ally summon 81. Woo. Man. That was quite a bit. That was quite a bit of 100s.
I did want to at least just say thank you to all the guilds that helped make my document possible, that have helped like the game and have helped kind of build the community. So like special shout outs to Malicious, my guild. I want to say, thank you to Coffee for kind of like leading the way with social media. Rivensu has been really helpful. I don't know how to say their name in English, and they kind of told me, and but their English translation name is Night Parade of 100 Demons, but it's
JJK.
Yeah, they're like the Chinese guild. They're super organized. They give me lots of tips on like how do you stay on track and things like that. And I would be remiss to not mention Exiles. They have a ton of content. Killer is part of Exiles. They are always answering on the Discord. They wrote so many of the articles that we all benefit from. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It's been a fantastic group. And I also want to say like, hey, Pamela, you guys have like some of the best heart. When you guys are every week, I see your guys like, oh no, pause, wait, like the hype that you guys have is incredible. So, keep fighting, keep playing. You guys are all great, and I hope we can keep this community the way it is. It's a fantastic community. I'm proud to be part of it.
I love that you mentioned it's like, they've got the heart, because that is absolutely what I feel from the community. Like it's filled with so many wonderful people, and it's like, I was talking to you, and it's like your passion for the game really comes through, right? I get excited listening to you talk about it, and it's like hearing all this feedback from people and everything while we get to do these streams. It's truly an honor. It's a blessing to kind of get up here and interact with you guys. Like, it's very fun. So I love that. Thank you, Butter. Thank you. That was really cool. And then welcome back, Premier. What's going on? So why don't we transition into some summons for a little bit? Do you want to start us off? You can summon for more stuff if you've got it to summon, and then I can do some afterwards.
Yeah. So I'm just going to town on my class tickets because I got a few.
Dude, you've gotten some good rates right now. Hello? Whoa.
Well, at level 15, you get some pretty good rates. You really do. So you saw I already got 2 red ones. So
yeah.
If you're wondering how I stacked up to like 25 of those, yeah, it comes. Yeah. And one of the things I want to mention is Come To Us does this thing where they are going to introduce a new rate. They may not announce it yet, but they introduce like a new rate. And then I was like, hey, my rates are higher than normal. They do shadow buffs all the time. So if you're noticing something, it's probably true.
It's like that's a good kind of shadow. It's like I like it when it's shadow buffed. It's the shadow nerfs we don't like. It's the shadow buffs.
Yeah, like Ares, I think, got shadow nerfed, where the elemental penetration line used to impact you as the player, but now it's only the allies. And I think spiritually that was what was intended, but like I definitely was like, no, my sources of damage, no. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at. So skills, I actually have no reason to summon those.
Not yet. Yeah, we can. Yeah, don't worry about that.
I gotta wait for the new one. Allies, I have some reason. And you see, I'm just burning tickets.
Burning tickets, yeah.
Oh, how many tickets did I burn?
Who are you looking for right now?
Oh wait, I'm only doing 30. There we go. Let's do 300.
Whoa,
so I'm looking for like Scarlet. I'm looking for like Chocolate. Like because it's Radiant, like anybody can show up, which I find great. Yeah. So like it's great. Just every time I see a mythical, I'm like, okay, maybe I got something. So.
That'd be wonderful if you got something on the stream. If you got something that you needed.
Ooh, Felino.
We like Felino.
I like Felino. Felino does like minus 10% and he triggers bleed, so he's like perfect in my build. It's just I think right now I get a little too afraid, so I need like Vesper.
I just love your build, dude. I think it's so creative. I think it really shows off the synergies that are possible in this game.
Yeah, I just don't want them to shadow nerf it or like to be like, oh, now you can only, like, oh no.
It's like a
don't.
minimum defense that they can have, dude. I'm no snitch though. If that happens, it's not from me. It's not from me. just please know that if it gets nerfed, it's not me. But I don't know why they would. I don't know why they would nerf it because it would affect so few people. But I say that not being the devs, right? Of course. So.
Yeah. I mean, the amounts they gave were, I don't know if they were intending for someone to achieve 100 or if they like kind of just was, like, oh, it'd be really good. Because the way I feel about collaboration units is they don't have a like enchant, right? So whatever was the enchant just goes onto the skills of the collaboration unit. So then that's why they seem so much more powerful because you already get the enchant on there from a design space. So like, that's why I think Vanessa, Annabelle, and all of these allies are so much more powerful because they have everything they need.
Right, they do. Epic butter time. Yeah, guys, this is a good moment again, reminding folks if you don't already follow him on YouTube, you should. The link to that is in the description if you're watching on the Come To Us USA YouTube channel. If you're on Twitch, you can just use command epicbutter and his channel information will pop up too. So with that, why don't I do a couple summons too? Because I actually have some saved up. So maybe we could swap over to mine for a second. Even though we won't spend too long here because my gameplay is going to be significantly less interesting. But for now, we can at least burn through some tickets and do this. I don't have the zero defense build, but you know what? But I've got some tickets and I've been saving them for stream, so we can do that together.
I mean, I think your account is almost getting to that pretty exciting point where you're going to, I would say probably in like a few more sessions, you may be looking at getting your first SSS upgrade.
Oh, dude, I'd be so excited. I'd be so excited for that. Yeah, at least class-wise, yes. You're right about that. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe I should just do 300. I don't know. Maybe I don't have... let's just go for it. Well, is there anything that I should be summoning? I don't think I have Zeus's Wrath yet, actually. Should I be summoning on this?
So Zeus's Wrath actually, like in the higher levels, kind of underperforms.
Okay.
Chain Lightning tends to be better.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you'll have Chain Lightning at like a higher skill level by the time you have like Zeus's Wrath at a very high level. So I would say Goddess of War is probably one of the better ones because it's not in the black market right now.
Okay.
However, I don't know if you'll be able to make it to like Awaken 8. So it's one of those, like, if you have it at Awaken 3, it's good enough. I
think I do have it.
Climb.
I do have it at 3.
Yeah.
I do have it at 3. What do you think?
So how
Should I still
do you
summon
feel
anything?
about the more allies? I kind of felt that was an interesting way to kind of buff the allies in general.
Yeah, I agree. I think, peeling back the veil a little bit, I think getting allies to a stronger position in the game is probably at the forefront of the devs' mind right now, and you can kind of tell that via that update. And I think I completely agree with that. They clearly want allies to be relevant. You mentioned how it's like they bring so much utility to the table. So one, I can see their vision, and two, I'm a big fan of the fourth, purely because I think this game really, the synergies are really what makes Soulstrike fun. And it's like the fact that you can bring someone down to 0 defense, and you can make that happen. You can go for bleed builds, you can go for all these different things, and having a fourth ally to work with is really, really cool, because that gives you more room to explore synergies and kind of do that deck building, that quote unquote deck building aspect of Soulstrike. Or at the very least, you could throw in Artemiel or something and use a taunt effect to draw heat off of you. So for me, it's like, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the short way of saying I think that's really cool, right? That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. I kind of went around, beat around the bush with that. What's up, Childish? What's going on, dude?
Yeah, Childish has been a great help for me, just learning the ropes of YouTube and things like that. Like my whole channel is just about making guides, and I just hope that the attention that it's getting from all you guys will just bring it to people that aren't on the Discord, that are on other sources that are trying to learn more about the game, because not everyone's on Discord.
Right. Let me see here. I am using Scarlet right now. Maybe I could summon on. Should I summon on Scarlet? Any recommendations for what I should summon on for allies?
Scarlet's good. Let's see. Scarlet's good.
There's Rebecca. There's Aisha as well.
Aisha, I think we're a little confused about the strength of Aisha because we don't know if she suffers from her ability being marked as someone else's. So when you use Magstorm and it gets applied on other people, that damage is actually put on top of the ally that it got put on top, not who gave it to them. So Aisha has this ability where she can put her bubble that does damage on other allies, but we don't know how much stronger that is because we don't really have a way of measuring that.
Huh, interesting. Okay. So does that mean that she's clearly a little bit more esoteric currently? But
she's strong. We don't know how strong.
We just don't know how strong. It's pretty fun. Evan, how come you don't have this new Summer Scarlet skin? That's the #1 priority, dude. I'm lacking in the Scarlet skins. You're right. I've failed NC Pereira. You're right. So I'll go ahead and I'll summon on her for now. Then, look at that. Got one.
That's one.
That's one. We'll take it. I already unlocked her earlier, but I'm gonna keep. Whoops! I accidentally tabbed out of it real quick.
They gave one to you.
Oh, Mina, that's new. We'll take it. It's new. We'll take it.
I will also mention, I think they did some adjustments on a lot of the allies, but I don't know if they've gone unnoticed. Like, I know Nike got adjusted a while ago. I know there are some adjustments across the board. Like Delia, I think, got adjusted. So I would, if you've already made a decision on allies and how good they are, I would relook at them because they may be different than what you remember.
That's a very good suggestion, is going back and reviewing and checking to make sure things are as good as you remember, or in some cases as bad as you remember them, to be pleasantly surprised down the line.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh, you
like
just
that's,
need one more.
let's keep going. Let's go.
No, oh,
We
no,
got
you,
it.
you got the pity. You got the
Oh,
pity.
I got the pity. Boom. Oh, sorry, lost. I bringing chat back real quick. Oh wait, do I? Wait, I need two more. I need two more. I need two more. We can do that. We can get two more real quick. Right, chat. We could do two.
We are at that 3 o'clock time though. We've been having such a blast.
Oh, are we already?
You know,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, I did not realize it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, maybe I won't be able to get the two then. Oh, chat. One more. Come on. No, that's not her.
Scarlet.
It's giving me stuff that's not Aisha. Oh, okay. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill.
All of them
Oh, I got
benefit you. Wait, you got a pity. You got a pity.
I got it. Look at this. Woo. A3, baby.
God. Hey.
Right at the finish line. Let's go. Right at the buzzer. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, she looks so cool when she's awake in 3. That is awesome. That's so sick. Butter, dude, I've had such a blast having you on stream, man. It's been so much fun hanging out. I love hearing your opinions. I like hearing your perspective on stuff. It's very clear that you love the game. Your enthusiasm is palpable.
Yeah, no, and I love the community. I love everybody that's been part of it. It's really such a great game, and it has all the elements of like a game that like keeps people drawn in and keeps people playing for a while. It's just we need more people to be able to play those later stage things.
Yeah, well said. Very well said. So guys, again, it's incumbent on me to remind you to follow Epic Butter one last time. Use the command in Twitch. Check it out in the description on YouTube. Give him a follow, and you'll learn a lot from him as well. So, please do that. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Is there anything else that you want to say to chat before we go today?
I think I've said it all. I just appreciate everyone. I appreciate my time here, and next time I'm on here, I will definitely be doing the same, where I gather everyone's opinions and try to just do right by everyone.
That's awesome. And let's do another one of these soon too, because this was a lot of fun.
This is great.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week on Wednesday. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.